Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second webinar of the 18th Social Entrepreneurship for Innovation in Health course. Let's take a brief pause to allow all the participants to join this session. And if you're able to see us on the screen and your peers can't, please comment on the chat box suggesting them to refresh their browsers. Also, if you're watching us live, don't forget to take the survey that you find below the screen that asks you, are you watching live? Please click yes. You get extra credit points to watch live webinars. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the second webinar of the season. As you're aware, this course is part of Global Making More Health initiative. The initiative explores innovative ways to improve access to healthcare for people, animals, and communities around the world. Through the course, participants connect with global cohort of health professionals from private, public, and nonprofit sector. They all convene to learn more about entrepreneurial strategies to create best social and business impact with their work in the health and wellness space. Before we jump into our session with our incredible guest expert today, just a reminder to take the survey that I just spoke about. Also, don't forget to drop your question for our guest expert in the discussion forum, and we will take it during the span of the session. Today's session is aligned with the theme of this week's module, entrepreneurial challenges and opportunities. So feel free to ask your question in sync with this theme or otherwise. And now, a big welcome to Dr. Sarah Said Khurram. She's a digital healthcare leader, influencer, and an innovator. She'll be our guest expert for the session, so ask her strategies that she is following in overcoming her challenges and seizing opportunities. Dr. Sarah is the founder of Sehat Kahani, a telehealthcare platform in Pakistan that focuses on democratizing healthcare access for all. The organization is now growing and has gone beyond Pakistan. Thank you, Dr. Sarah, for joining us today. We are excited to hear from you, your examples from your journeys, and welcome to the session.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Dr. Sarah, you have a rich background as a doctor and social entrepreneur. Could you please share with us a little bit about your professional journey as a social entrepreneur and also the story of founding Sehat Kahani? What prompted you to start the organization? What does it offer? And what is the core value propositions?
Yeah, so I started as an entrepreneur and I did this and this, and then I founded the organization, and this is the goal, and this is our methodology, and I have some slides here for you, and here are my slides. Oh, la 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 la, and end of the slides.
Thank you so much for sharing the story of this extraordinary journey, Dr. Sarah, and the impact that it is making. Telemedicine is quite familiar to us today, but I'm sure when you got started, it was a disruptive idea. So how did Sehat Kahani use the telemedicine expertise to help Pakistan during pandemic?
Yeah, so that was very important because we were already had the methodology and the model, and we were able to support the government on the response to the pandemic.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I was hearing you on a TED Talk where you said that when you started the journey of Sehat Kahani, probably a lot of people had the question, how does a doctor not touch a patient and ask, is able to give a treatment? And now, after the pandemic, people understand that you don't need to touch the patient to give a treatment. So, Dr. Sarah, surely that's great work, and it's evident that a lot of commitment has gone behind building this venture. But it may not be free of challenges. You may have to have overcome a lot of hurdles and challenges in choosing the pathways that you have. So, what are some of the challenges that you faced in setting up your venture, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, so lots of challenges and still. And some of the main challenges that I faced when we started was this, and this. And we solved them all with strong partners and strong networks.
Great. Dr. Sarah, you come from a league that sees opportunity in every difficulty and challenges. Sehat Kahani has continued its growth journey successfully through the pandemic and even now, while global businesses are still impacted by the recession and are experiencing some struggles. What is the stage of your operations, of the operations of Sehat Kahani currently, and where do you see the venture in the coming time, in the long term?
Yeah, so we are doing well, and we are also developing very strong partnerships that will allow us to keep going in the future.
Dr. Sarah, this week's module of the course, we stress significantly in around understanding of the core of social issues to develop lasting solutions. Drawing from your example of how you founded social Sehat Kahani, you yourself identified the issue that there is an issue with access to quality care for a large number of people in Pakistan and matched it with the fact that there was untapped medical workforce available in form of doctor brides who could solve this problem. So, what is your advice to our learners on how to identify underlying causes of social problem?
Yeah, my advice is X, Y, and Z, and working closely with the communities and the people involved and having diverse people asking different questions.
That's a great advice. I would like to mention the infamous quote from Helen Keller that says, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." And turn your attention to the importance of partnerships in life cycle of growing a solution or an organization. So, what are your golden rules in identifying and pursuing new opportunities and partnerships?
My golden rule is to make sure that there is a shared vision, that the goals, the main social impact goals, they really are shared. So you're all walking toward the same direction.
Great, great. I think that rule probably will apply for everyone when they are looking at partnership, and it's great to kind of keep it as a pointer to kind of validate if the partnerships are going to work in the long term. Can you also provide some insight on building effective collaborations? When we look at new partners and opportunities, not with everyone can we build strong collaborations. So, do you have insights of building effective collaborations? And can you elaborate that with an example from your journey?
Yeah, I think that's similar to the question before. It's important that people you're partnering with are have the shared vision on the impact you want to create.
Great. Actually, just on a side note, I wanted to mention that in module one, one of our lectures, one of our first lectures was around a case study on social entrepreneurship, where we provided a lecture around Unilever's Lifebuoy campaign on hand wash, which was aimed at human behavior change around hygiene. And we also see Sehat Kahani has fostered a partnership with Unilever, and there is a mention of Sehat Kahani in the Lifebuoy soap pack. Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so that partnership, we just wrapped that partnership, or maybe not, and that was very successful, and we were able to connect that product with healthcare.
So it's a great example for us because we just spoke about a global campaign with reference to Lifebuoy, and now this is a great contextual localization example. We have several questions flowing from our very active live audience, so it's time for us to turn to them. Then I take some questions, and then we move to Okay, we have more questions coming in, but let me move to another question. Probably it will echo with a lot of our learners. What are some important lessons from your journey as a social entrepreneur that can be applied to entrepreneurs?
The main one is definitely to not try to do things alone. And the other one is just to learn that there will be challenges and you should not give up.
Great. Dr. Sarah, I was hearing you on your TED Talk where you were talking about that you are totally in love with your profession, what you do. Actually, not profession, what you do. So, with that, you also say that time is insignificant when it comes to love for something what you do. So in this case, I just like to ask you, as a high performing founder and social entrepreneur, how do you maintain your own health, motivation, and how do you keep that forward looking mindset?
Yeah, so I take care of my well-being, my physical and mental bodies. I think that that's the key.
Great. We sadly have to wrap up this great conversation in interest of time, but I'm sure our learners have taken great intake of wisdom from you. What is your parting advice to our learners who are watching us today in starting in leading their entrepreneurial journeys?
My just start your journey and go from there.
This was an absolutely delightful session. Thank you so much for joining us today and giving us your generous time. It was a pleasure for me to host you. Congratulations on your remarkable changemaker journey and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are such an inspiration, Dr. Sarah. I shall continue to follow your work. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And for all of you who are watching us right now, I hope that Module 2 is helping you to focus on identifying social problems you want to address and explore opportunities available in your context. Feel free to connect with your peers in the discussion forum and engage in conversations. Also, please remember, next week we will open Module 3 that will cover strategies for advancing social innovation in your institutions. Please hold the date 2nd November for our third webinar, where we will meet our guest expert, Beatrice Ottoman.